So we start the final year project in end-to-end machine learning project. So here we decide to do some performance on EDA. So what we have to do now, first of all, this is modeling training. Then we have just means we have to calculate the data, we will store the data, we refine the data, and we state the information insights. So these informations we have used in model training. So in the first video, what we have to do now, what what we have to what have to done, what what have already done, that is life cycle, problem statement. Problem statement, what is problem statement? The problem statement is how do we create what is the this is a student data, so we understand the how the student performance is affected by the various such as gender, ethnicity, parental level of education, lunch, and test performance. So after that, we collect the data from the data source, that is a here, that is a Kaggle, and in this data there are 8 columns and 1,000 rows. So to read this data, we first of all import some libraries which is very useful in data analytics. Some of our pandas, numpy, matplotlib, matplotlib, seaborn, and warning library. Warning means nothing. You use any library in the Jupyter. There's a showing the warning, so we neglect this warning. So use warning. So first of all, we numpy array, then pandas, then seaborn, then matplotlib, and then warnings. After that, what we have to do? We have to run first column. We choose version of Python or kernel to run the code. So basically, I am running my code on the Python Anaconda. Then second part is we use the pandas to read the CSV files. So we're reading the CSV file in pandas. We use pd.read CSV, and the as an argument pass the path of data source. Okay. Then we have to after this show the data. So top 5 data, that is df.head. We show the gender, race, ethnicity, parental level of education, lunch, and others. So what we have to do, we check the shape of data key, how much rows and columns are there. So 1,000 rows and 8 columns. So in this, data, what I see, what we see, first gender, race, ethnicity, parental level of education. So we define all the data here. We have a first gender, means sex of students, male or female, ethnicity, which is divided into group A, B, C, D. We have already seen this, or maybe the data information is given by the data source. So you can generally see lunch, test preparation course, maths, score, reading, and writing. After that, what we have to do, we have to check some performance data. First of all, we check the missing values. There is there any missing values? Then is there any duplicate values? And let's check the data types. How much data is a numerical type, categorical types. So basically, we define the data in two types: categorical types and ob- numerical types. Numerical types में int, float, and non-numerical में object types में generally we mention. Take the number of values in key, how many much how number of unique values of each rows, means each columns has how much unique. This is gender, how many unique value in gender, 2, male female. So that is, then check the statics data sets, means mean, median, mode. See the missing values. So what we have to do, we do data df, means in the data frame we use is any null. If have, then the sum of null. Okay, every an individual, there is no any sum, so there is no missing values. Then check missing values. After that, we check the duplicate values. In duplicate value, df not duplicated is sum. Then that is also null, so there is no duplicate. Check the data types. So simply df.info is information about the data frames. Then in information, what we have to column name, then count, okay, how many rows, data types. This is object, 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 int, int, int. This is our where we check the unique number of unique columns value. First, gender has two unique, race. Then we have check statistics, mean, median, mode. So we have see that count 100, this is basically how much data, mean 66. So we can say that the math score, reading score, and writing score is generally lie into the 65 to 68. Then after that 66 to 69, standard deviation means how they far from the middle point. So that is approx 15. What is the mean? Means minimum score. So there are many persons is a minimum score is 0 in maths, but in reading the minimum score is 70. Means no any person who has minimum number in reading is 0, and writing score is the minimum is 10. So we have a criterion. So 25% high. What say that? It say that the total student of the 25% is to given number is 57 to 59. Then 50% of students lies to 60 to 70% number, and the 75% is the above numerical data standard way also called close to 14 to 15, and the minimum score of 0 for maths and minimum score that is a unique. Then exploring the data. Exploring means we have do EDA extracted data transformation. We have changed the numerical data in a useful numerical, then any categorical variable in the numerical or categorical variable into a simple numerical values to do the modeling or machine learning. So first of all, print the unique in gender. There is so some variables. Then gender is female or male. In group ABC, and the level of educations as for that is bachelor's degree, and the lunch is standard and free reduce. After that we have test preparations, we have none and completed. So after that we have divide our data into a numerical part and the categorical part. Numerical part is the data types of data types not equal to O means object. The object data type O, that is numerical, and that is object, that is a categorical. So there are three numerical values: maths, reading, and writing, and five categorical features: read, gender, ethnicity, and that's. After that, what we do, we see our data. We have now adding columns for the total. We add some columns for make the data is more useful and more insightful. So first of all, we add some columns, that is total score and average. And the total score say about which how much student that in top percent. So total we have add maths, so reading and writing. Then total score divided by 3, that is called average. Average means percentage. How much percentage they have? Now 72%, 82%, 92%. It means 90, 90, 90 means 278, that is 92%. We have round off, but we have also see that how many persons who read who score 100 in reading, writing, and maths. So what you have to do, key data frames equal to hundreds of all data में, and the average dot count, उनका average क्या है, 100 होना चाहिए. So that is our full marks. कि there are number of students with full marks in maths is 7, writing it 114 and reading is 17. So after that we do that, we have also defined key minimum passing marks. We have minimum criteria कि इतना criteria पर है हम लोग उसी पे लेंगे. So that's why we choose कि how many students is maths which is less than 20, that is 4. How many student is less than 20 writing is 3 and 1. So this is our score. So in this way कि the we get the student performing the worst in math, the best performance is in the reading. So at least all the students are best in reading. So now we exploring the data using the visualizations libraries. So first of all, we use the histogram and kernel distribution function. So what is the histogram? The histogram is a number of count or distributions of the individual columns with respect to numbers.